Today's broadcast was brought to you by Vistaprint. Create powerful promotions that are easy to design and hard to miss. With Vistaprint, it's easy to customize your business cards, marketing material, corporate gifts, calendars, stationery, and more with confidence, or get real-time design help. Visit RadioOnFire.com/Vistaprint to get $20 off any order of $40 or more. If you have a message to get out, you want it to be affordable, but you want it to look professional. Visit RadioOnFire.com/Vistaprint for $20 off today. Cast your votes right now for the 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
The Baltimore Music Awards is something that's thrown every year to acknowledge you. Yes, you out there for your talents and your efforts and your achievements that you do.
You decide the winners in this 2018 competition.
Every year when it comes to music, entertainment, radio personality, model, or from any of that perspective, we're here to celebrate you. And it's funny because when this first started 8 years ago, a lot of people thought that it couldn't happen.
The 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
We need to acknowledge our people out there, but in our own community, it was something needed.
Watch the results show Sunday, December the 16th at 12 noon via RadioOnFire.com or BaltimoreMusicAwards.com. Okay. And that is coming up December the 16th. As he said, RadioOnFire.com, BaltimoreMusicAwards.com. So, happy Wednesday to everybody. A lot of things going on, a lot of things I want to talk about, but we have a subject that I don't want to say is near and dear to my heart. But what I do want to say is I think that it's a controversial topic. And I'm not exactly sure why it's a controversial topic. I mean, I understand where ladies might be coming from on this, and I've been debating this all day with women. And so it's a simple question for the ladies. If a guy wants a DNA test, will you get mad or will you understand? Simple question. And I think that you could understand why we might ask this question. Because I don't want to say that it is more pressure on the man, but there's a lot of pressure on us. It's a lot of pressure on us when a baby comes. It is. I've been there. It's a lot of pressure. So there's a lot of things that are put on us. We're expected to provide for the child. We're expected to help raise the child. Women are expected to give birth. And if a guy's going to sign up for 18 plus years of potentially dealing with the mother and the child financially and emotionally, is it a crazy request for us to want a DNA test? I say no. It's not a crazy request. But a lot of women upset about this. A lot of women catch attitudes about this because in your infinite wisdom, ladies, you seem to think that somehow this request is a knock on you. And I say that it is not. It is not a knock on you. Just because the guy asks for a DNA test, that doesn't mean that he thinks that you a hoe. That means He just don't know. That's what it means. It means that he just don't know. He doesn't know if it's his child. I'm not saying he doesn't know if you're a hoe. I'm saying he doesn't know if it's his child or not. Why is that crazy? Why can't women understand that? Why? What is it about? This is a lifetime commitment, right? When you get a contract, you're not just signing it without reading it, are you? Some of these rappers out here doing that, maybe. I don't know. Singers, I don't know. But when I get a contract, I look it over before I sign it. Before I make some type of a long-term commitment. Before I buy a car, I'm looking over the paperwork first. That's not crazy. I'm not saying, I don't mess with this car dealership like that. I mean, you just want everything in writing, right? I don't think that is a crazy request. I don't think it's a crazy request for a man to want a DNA test. But ladies get upset about it. So, of course, you can let me know your thoughts. You can call in 404-436-1277. I am going to take calls. So, and I want to read some of these comments. And I'm remiss before I share a personal story, because I don't know if I need to. I don't know if I need to share a personal story about this, because I'm sitting somewhere different now than I did at the time. But I want to say that it's not a crazy request. I actually think it should happen regardless. You know how they cut the umbilical cord? They should do a DNA test automatically, off the break. Then we would have a lot less of the foolishness down in child support. We would have a lot less of that if people knew off the break whether this was their child or not. Off the break. What's wrong with that? That would be so much easier for everybody involved, if that's what was the standard. Getting a DNA test off the rip. So before you leave the hospital, you know for sure this is your child. I think that would make us have better fathers, because some fathers don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Now this kid's 30 years old and they've been going through their whole life, and the father wasn't sure that this was their child. Him and the mother had a lot of beef issues, and you've raised a whole generation, and things was crazy and didn't have to be, because you could have found out for sure whether or not this was your child. And so that's where I'm sitting at. A lot of relationships with parents and children would be better if this DNA test was done off the rip in the beginning. Day one, before they leave the hospital, it should be done. My thoughts. But as I said, people can call in with your thoughts. 404-436-1277. So I'm gonna read some of these comments, because we have a bunch of them, bunch of comments, and some good ones, some good comments here. I like them. I like the fact that people are not shy to talk about this, because this is a subject that it can be delicate. It can be delicate. It's a delicate subject when you talk about children and their mothers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to pull up some of these comments. Now, there have been some interesting ones, and some that surprised me, and some that don't surprise me that much. So Ebony says it's a reasonable request. Oh, very smart lady, Ebony. Ebony says that. And so, okay, Lames. Oh, boy, well, I'm going to mess this all up. Lameska says she would be mad. Like, nigga, you think I'm some type of hoe or something, but I definitely would allow it just so he can waste his money and look stupid when it says that it's his. Listen, let me tell you this. Ladies, a guy who gets a DNA test does not look stupid if it comes back that it's his. He doesn't look stupid. How does he look stupid? Because he knows for sure. So the guy looks stupid because he knows and has, secured the fact of paternity. He has proven paternity, so he looks stupid? No. I'm telling you that the guy who proves paternity before he leaves the hospital does not look stupid. All right? So Robert says that with all the technology, no man should leave the hospital wondering. It should be mandatory. I know way too many dudes who got played. Hey, I agree with that. Shout out to Robert. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. So Marquita says, I would be mad if a man asked me, but for other women that are not like me, I don't see an issue with it. So essentially, she's calling some women a hoe. Not herself, of course. But she's saying she ain't talking about her. She's talking about these other bitches. Got you. Nanette says, nothing to get mad about. Then everyone is on the same page from the start. Very true. I agree with that. Latoya says, unless you have doubts, why you mad? This way the world set up. She said, the way this world is set up, I don't blame nobody for a double check. Like that. Interesting comments. Katina said she's been there. Almost got locked up in Towson Courthouse over that. Okay. All right. But she said when it was 99.99999, that came back, fuck you, pay me. And see, that's why we get DNA tests. Because women have that fuck you, pay me mentality. Why does it got to be about the money? Why does it have to be about the money? She said, fuck you, pay me. Shout out to Katina. I'm not dumping on you, Katina, but the reason why men want the DNA test is A, we want to spend all this time for a child that, somebody else should be doing this with. And we're not trying to spend all of our money when we shouldn't. And the fact that Katina brought up the money part of it is just, that's part of the issue. We have this major disconnect, men and women, kids, mothers, and potential fathers. She done already turned this and made this about the money. She says, fuck you, pay me, to the guy after the blood test comes back. So you already see that she's going to take him down the river. You know what I mean? She's in this to get the money from him. And she's talking about her personal situations, and those are her personal feelings about her kid's father. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you if talking about Katina's kid's father, if the first words out her mouth after a positive DNA test result was "fuck you, pay me." So they must have been going through some type of child support thing. So more comments from some people as it relates to this topic. We're going to pull this up in a moment. So it's interesting because I thought that more women were going to be upset about this. So Ty says, at 24, I was offended when I was asked, but knew what the results were, so I took the test. Now, I want to dissect this. She said she knew what the results were going to be, so she took the test. But what if you didn't know what the results were going to be? So every woman that comments on this post is a holier-than-thou woman. Sometimes you have 2 guys or 3 guys or however many guys it was that you were with within a certain time period, and you don't know who the father is. Those situations. In those situations, can the woman still be mad? Because a woman, you may say that you know your body, right? But if you've had sex with 1, 2, 3, 4, if you had sex with 4 guys in 1 month, right? And then you get pregnant. You may think you know, but you don't necessarily know. If you had sex with 4 guys in 1 month, and then the next month you miss your period, what do? You just automatically assume that it's the first guy you fucked early in the month? Or could it be the guy you fucked in the middle of the month? You don't know. And when people talk about due dates, right? The due dates for the baby. You don't know. You're just estimating from your last period. Right? But what if your period was off a little bit? What if sometimes your shit's in the middle of the month, sometimes at the end of the month, and then your period was late, so you kind of estimating. Everything's estimate. It's an estimate. You estimate the due date, they estimate. Now, yeah, they can measure the fetus. Some fetuses are big, some are small. You measure in the size of the head and all that kind of dumb shit. But you don't know who the father really is. And then so you're going to try to count back the months. I fucked him in the beginning of July, so 1, 2, 3, and you're going to try to count, but it could have been a nigga from the middle of the month. You don't know. So a DNA test is good. Now understand, and I'm going to say that it takes some balls, especially if the relationship is decent. It takes some balls for you to say, yo, I want to get a DNA test. It takes some balls for you to say that. Listen, I understand that it takes balls to say that. And I understand that the woman may be upset because, yes, you're saying, I want to be sure. But it doesn't have to mean I don't trust you. It could just mean I am not sure. So we're going back to Ty. Started off. Ty says at 24 years old, she was offended when she was asked, but she knew what the results were, so she took the test. Now she says the older her thinks that genetic testing should be mandatory before the child is discharged. Sometimes babies get switched, and also chicks lie about paternity sometimes. I don't think that babies get switched that much. People always say that. Babies get switched. Babies get switched. What damn hospital are y'all going to? Babies not getting switched like that. But chicks are lying about paternity. Now that happens way more often than the goddamn switch. She watched too much damn TV. But shout out to Ty Davis. Zay says that he thinks they should offer one after every birth. And I definitely agree with that. China says, I would feel some type of way, like a nigga think I'm a hoe or something. Okay. China, what? Okay. So, you know, someone brought to my attention a different perspective on this. So, yes, I guess it does depend on the level of relationship that you are in. So if you just start dating somebody, let's say y'all been dating less than 3 months. Y'all been dating during what I call the probationary period. Because the first 3 months is a probation. This shit may work, this shit may not work. And within 3 months, we can have a separation that's not going to be too attached. Just like at a job. Within that first 3 months, they can let you go a lot quicker than after a couple years. Now, you do some shit in the first 3 months at a job, you know what I mean? You just started, right? Same thing with a relationship. It's what I call the probationary period. You're still cutting off exes or whatever, and you're still kind of trying to see. During the probationary period, if the woman becomes with child, the woman becomes pregnant, you haven't known her that long. You don't know what the hell she's been doing. You don't know if she still dipped back with her ex, right? Because y'all still having what I call awkward sex. Because within the probationary period, you don't know her that well. She don't know you that well. And yes, y'all can talk about it. But the person you've been with longer kind of knows what you like. And sometimes people like to dip back to the familiar. If you get pregnant during that period, the baby could be yours, the one she's with currently, or the baby could be the ex's, or some random that you don't know. So I think that if you haven't been with her that long and you ask for the DNA test, I don't think she should get offended. She may get offended, but I don't think she should. Now, China says also, my baby father never asked for our first son, but asked for our second son, and I looked at him like a damn dummy. You about to pay for a test that you know the results for when it came back 99.99. Yeah. Now, China, let me say this, China. I don't think that he looked like a damn dummy. I think he would have looked like a damn dummy if he did not get the test, because he's got to feel comfortable that this is my child. This is my son. He knows that the first son, his son. Boom. Now, I can already tell by the way you described it. When you had your first son, y'all was together. When you had your second son, y'all was kind of in a funny space. Like y'all had broke up, but y'all was still messing with each other. That's why he asked for the test. So it's nothing. I don't think he did nothing wrong because he asked for the test. But China feels like, how dare you, nigga, ask for a goddamn test. All right. John says that his baby mother got mad when he asked for the test. I'd like to know what the results were of the test, though, John. Shamika says it's circumstantial. If you are not mutually exclusive and he knows some other dudes was visiting that cat, then I don't see the need for the anger. But if that isn't the case and he just stunting and stalling, I'd be pissed off. Mari determined you are the father. Okay. We're not, I keep saying this. Ladies, we're not stunting. It's not even that we're stalling. It's just that we're saying, because usually in these instances, the woman wants money. You want child support, which you deserve money for the baby. I'm not saying that we shouldn't give money for the baby, because we should. What I'm saying is, who are you to get angry? Who are you to get angry? Because all the ladies, all of y'all that's saying you would get mad if your son, when your son gets a woman pregnant, you are going to be the same woman, quick, fast, in a hurry, telling him don't claim no kid until he knows that you better not bring that kid in here unless I know for sure that's my grandchild. You're going to be that same lady. You're going to be hypocrite miss. You're going to be hypocrite granny. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's your son that got somebody pregnant, allegedly, you're going to be wanting him to get a blood test. But of course, she's a hoe and you wasn't. I'm not saying that you a hoe. All I'm saying is that especially if you single and you doing you, right? You single, you don't owe nobody nothing. Then it doesn't matter. Did you get pregnant? Then it should go to the right guy, not the wrong guy. All right? Okay. Here we go. Let's see. What if she brings up having the test, just to make sure we're all on the same page? Okay. All right. So Anise is saying, what if the woman brings up the child? Is that what you're saying? If the woman brings up the test. If the woman brings up the test, this is rare. So she is probably a big fan of Wonder Woman and She-Ra and Xena, the warrior princess, and she probably saw what was that movie? What was the movie where the women the women were fighting kung fu? You know what I mean? What was that? And set it off. Anise is probably a fan of all of these female superhero movies. The reason why I say that is because she's asking it from a perspective that hardly never happens, right? Like the Catwoman, she likes all that, right? Okay, if a woman brings it up first, that's so rare. Woo, that hardly never happens, okay? Woman gets pregnant, tells the guy that, she's with child, and then she says, well, I mean, it could happen. She could say, if you want to get, but that could be that reverse psychology shit. If you don't believe that it's yours, you're free to get a blood test. If she said it to me, I would say, good, because I was going to do that anyway. That's what I would say. But if it's your wife, right? Let's say it's your wife. If it's your wife, that might be kind of foul, depending on what y'all relationship has been. But if y'all had taken a break, maybe that's not as bad. But this, as I said, this is a tricky situation for people. Sarita says she would understand. I'm glad you would understand, Sarita. She said that she would understand. And, for the most part, I think it's kind of 50-50 with the opinions on this. So very interesting topic here. Why is what foul? Why is what foul? I don't even understand what you're saying. Why you're asking me why is what foul? Something is foul. But why? What do you be more specific? What are you talking about? So of course you're just tuning in, RadioOnFire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here, and we're talking about guys asking women for a DNA test. Is that something that you would get offended about, ladies? Because the guy asked for a DNA test, are you mad about that? All right, so she's answering me back. Anise says, you just said when men ask it, does it mean that you're cheating? The woman asking for the test, the wife. Well, I mean, because it's reverse psychology, okay? You're trying to mind fuck me. You're trying to act like you don't care if I get the blood test, which means you really do care in this situation. But if the woman says it, honestly, I mean, it's cool. Usually, if you have a woman who is aggressive enough to say, look, nigga, you want to get, you feeling like this is not your child, you can always get a blood test. Usually, that guy is probably going to be like, oh, no, I don't think that. It's reverse psychology. You really don't want him to get a blood test, but you're putting it out there like you do to kind of trip him up. Yeah. That's what you're trying to do. But ha. It may not work. But sometimes it may work. But I mean, All right, what you saying? But what if she's being serious? Double standard here. But here's the thing. If she's being serious, if the woman really doesn't have a problem with you getting a blood test, and usually women, you shouldn't have a problem with you getting a blood test because the guy's usually the ones got to pay for it. So what difference do you make? The other women are worried about, oh my God, well, that's just less money that I can take out his pocket. You know what I'm saying? That's less money that I can steal from him. And since we're on the talk of DNA tests and we're talking about child support and blood tests and you are not the father and all that kind of stuff, when a guy is in a new relationship, and he's not messing with you no more, he's moved on with his life, he's upgraded himself, right? I'm not going to say he's dealing with a better girl than you. I'm saying he's dealing with another girl. That's usually when the women want to increase because the guy's doing just fine and the woman is feeling like, oh, now he want to get himself together and because he not with me no more and he want to have moved on. And then, Lord forbid, if his new woman has children, then you're like, oh, you being a father for these kids, you being a better father for these kids than you are for your kids. But he's really just being regular. But he just may be with a woman who he gets along with better, so their relationship comes off better, and you jealous. So you want to get an increase. It's foul. I'm speaking for the guys who can't say it, right? I don't have any kids, but I'm speaking for the guys who can't say these things or choose not to. I thought it wasn't about the money. It's not about the money from the guy. For guys, it's never about the money. For women, it's usually about the money. Child support, when women want the child support, it's about the money. When you want to increase, it's about the money. And then they create this dumb shit. Oh, my God. This dumb shit. Like, your child is supposed to be living the same way you living. What does that mean? Right? Like, I drive a car. My child's supposed to be having a car? No. Because I have a car, does that mean my child's supposed to have a driver? What if I have a driver? My child's supposed to have a driver because I have one? No, he's not. And if I want new fly sneakers and clothes, does that mean my child is supposed to have the same stuff? No, he's not the same stuff because my child is still growing. I already am the size I'm supposed to be. This child is steadily growing. So yes, we want to get him nice things, but his things shouldn't cost the same amount that my things cost. because A, I got a job and I'm working and he doesn't. So women are so quick to want to play that card, especially when you're not with the man. But if you're with the man and it's a choice in between you getting something, the lady getting something, the child gotta go to 5 and below then. But if you're not with the child, this is all designer shit. The fuck out of here. What's really good? What's really good? As I said, we are talking about if a guy asks for a DNA test, then why is the woman going to get mad? So, you have an opinion on this. How you doing, by the way? Boogie, say something. Boogie don't want to say nothing. Okay, fine. Don't say anything. All right, money to take care of y'all kids. It's nothing wrong with money to take care of the kids. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? You have an opinion on this?
I only heard half of it.
Okay. So if a man asks for a DNA test, are you mad or do you understand?
If I was a loose woman, to be honest, and I stuck around, I wouldn't be mad because he has the right to. But if he knows and I know that he's my one and only, yes, I would be mad.
See, and that's a trick. That's a trick right there, because the reason why he asks is because he doesn't know. And just because he hasn't caught you yet, because y'all are slick. Women are slick. Just because he hasn't caught you yet doesn't mean you're not messing with somebody else.
That's not, I didn't say it. I said if you, look, it's a podcast and I'm live. My friend.
See, you're going to get in trouble.
No, I'm talking and my husband just came up to step.
Okay.
Hold on. Huh?
Oh, this is rare.
This is fun because with my situation, when my husband and I first got together, there was a situation where he did ask me, "Are you sure this is my kid?" I couldn't admit it
No, you couldn't. You're right.
because another guy was running around saying that I was pregnant with him, and I was like, "Wait a minute,
That guy was hating.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I was mad, and women shouldn't be mad if you know if you know that you're involved with someone else and you slap your partner. I used to think that there was no doubt. You understand what I'm saying? Because I did the right thing before I, dealt with him like that on those terms. I went and got checked out. Most women, when they switch sexual partners, they do not go get a filling out. They don't
That's
go
true.
get pregnant.
That's true. That's true.
They just move next to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas I respond because I love me and I love life. Go ahead and take care of me first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good.
You don't want to bring a child into the world where it's coming to be the child is starting to question because
Right.
maybe look like somebody in the
Right.
family, and then the parent is like, wait a minute, hold up, I'm not sure. You take care of the kid 20, let's take 20 years, then come and find out, it's not the kid.
Yep.
That's a hard, not only for the kid,
Eh, for the child. Yeah.
The child to mess with their faith, to mess with their self-esteem, and their ability to cope with others, and to have decent relationships.
Yes.
Not always about you think you feelings because you want to hide the truth, or you don't want to woman up. We always talking about how dirty the men are, but what about these screaming ass women? Pardon my expression, but it ain't the truth.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
We did. I mean, you expect for the man to be responsible, but you also play a part in it too. Because guess what? The man is knocking. Just because he knocks don't mean you gotta open the door. And just because you open the door, that don't mean you gotta let him in. You understand what I'm saying? So you know what you're playing with. This goes both ways. It's a man's responsibility to make sure that he knows what type of woman he's dealing with, and it's the woman's responsibility to know what type of man she's dealing with. It don't take
But it take a while. Yeah, I agree with that.
Take a while because there are signs there. Because, it's like, and most of the times people are like, oh, he like me, oh, that's cute, and the man gonna say, no, she tripping, she wild, she wild. But at the same time, wow, a light bulb should go off. Something ain't right, but we don't think about that. Because we too busy boo loving and getting our sexual needs or urges filled, and not even thinking about the consequences down the road. And down the road, you have parents that have kids, and the father and the mother don't get along.
Right.
And then the father is out whether or not the child is dead.
Right.
And the child is.
Right. Right. Right.
If you are responsible enough to have sex, if you are responsible enough to deal with the consequences that come behind it, not just the good feeling.
I agree. Right. I agree. It's very rare that a woman is saying something that I'm going to agree with on this show, and I'm so glad that you talking the right stuff. I agree, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. No, go ahead. Thank you. All right. So, see you. Yeah, so I mean that, I agree with that. Of course, we're talking about guys wanting DNA tests and if women should get upset about that. And to flip it, some women seem to think, Anise, that if a woman asks for the DNA test, that, I don't know, some kind of fairy tale that she brought up. But generally speaking, I think that people are all on the same page, especially, like I said, especially if it's your child or somebody that's close to you, a friend, somebody that you deal with like that. If they're dealing with this situation, you would want them to get a DNA test. So yeah, definitely feel that. So I definitely will take calls. 404-436-1277 on to